Hello and welcome to this training video, which also corresponds with your Getting Started guide on goal setting and planning for your awesome business. So I'm so excited that you're here. We're going to go through a lot of information. I know some of you may be waiting for your training manual to arrive. It generally takes a week, but you don't necessarily need to wait for that. You can get started in this right away. You can download the training manual, this portion, this guide, which will also be in your training manual up above, and you could read along while you watch. So if you want to do that, go ahead. Also know that with all of our videos, make sure that you go full screen. If you want, bottom right there, you can go full screen, change the volume, hit pause, go make dinner, do that sort of thing. So that's what we're designing. This is training that you're always going to be able to refer back to. So let's jump in. What are we going to talk about? What are you going to learn? We're going to talk about the Getting Started guide, some of the hot tips, some of the things I find most important in that guide that I want you to really think about. I know the temptation is to skip some of it, but I really want to go over some of that, dig deeper. Creating that relatable story and your portfolio, practical steps for keeping your goals, emotional steps for moving forward and keeping those goals, the Stagers marketing calendar, example goals for your business, systems you may want to think about, focus on, and of course, all the way through real stories, commentary, goals, and photos. I like to always show throughout this training, because I've trained so many successful stagers, you're not alone. You're now involved in a huge community of awesome people, and they all started where you started. So don't worry about kind of any of those feelings that come along. So I like to share their stories, their photos, that sort of thing, and their progression throughout this training. And of course, love to share before and after photos. This one is particularly dramatic because, wow, look at this before photo and the after photo, which is a perfect example of the difference of us in a home. Stephanie White Interiors, look what she did in this space. Miracles, right? We work miracles in the space. And if anyone thinks there's no need for staging, or maybe even this, I mean, you saw that was a very low level space, wasn't necessary for staging, then you know the real truth of it. There is a huge need for staging at all levels of home. This is probably like 150,000, if that, dollar home, and the staging makes a huge difference. You can tell she's a pillow lover like myself, and look at the way she even arranged this coffee table. It's fantastic. You're going to see lots of great photos like this throughout the training. Just take note as you go, and then just enjoy it, because you're obviously in the right place if you love this sort of thing. So let's talk about the Getting Started guide, and probably one of the reasons why you joined and started this training. And it starts with the kind of a really fundamental question just about your life. What do you enjoy working on? What did you enjoy working on in the past? And what in your calendar were you most proud of? Because some of you are going to join us having just now starting your staging business, or maybe you've been a new stager for a while, or maybe you're a veteran stager. Everybody joins us at different levels, and this is an important question at all levels. I wish I asked myself this question early on in my life. I never did, because if I did, my answer would have been I had an interior design class in high school, and I spent more time on that class in high school than I probably did on every other class that I had. So I should have known, right, that was really my passion and my goal, but it took me several years. And I think you probably all have that similar story. And maybe it wasn't until you sold your home and you staged it and the agent said, wow, why aren't you staging? Or maybe you're an agent and you got into real estate because you love the home side of it and staging. If that's right, and if that's for you, then you know you're in the right place. And those are the things you're always going to take note on throughout actually your business, because this business, as I'm going to show you in the next couple days, can morph into a lot of different directions. And so it's going to be up to you to always ask yourself, well, what is it in this business that I really love working on? Maybe it's vacant homes, maybe it's not, maybe it's occupied. And we're going to explore these things. So I want you always to be thinking about that, because part of being an entrepreneur means you get to do what you love. You get to work with the clients you want to work with. There's a lot of freedom with that when you let that go. So I always be thinking about those things. And it's really about that opportunity brainstorm. And that's kind of what the Getting Started guide is about. Just, walking you through, okay, the space, where you are now and where do you want to be? And kind of, some of it is brass tacks, but a lot of it is, what's that vision of where do you see yourself? Do you want to do this part-time? Do you want to do this full-time? And I have stories all along the way, because I have, people who are empty nesters and they've got now all sorts of time because their kids are off in college. So they want to do this full-time and they're gung-ho. And some of them tell me, I wish I, started investing in inventory earlier and really focused on that vacant staging, because I have all the time in the world to do that. Others of you are, retirees, half retirees, and I share stories and our member stories on the public side of our website. Always go to that if you want. I'm going to share stories, of course, throughout this training, but I always share the most recent ones on the public side of our website under member success stories, because it helps us all know that you can take this business in so many different directions, but you have to be very intentional about where you want to go. Like I said, I've got some who are snowbirds, where they live in Hawaii and then they live part-time in the States and they stage in both locations. You can do that. This is a very portable business. It really depends on your website. And on your website, you can put 2 different locations. So there's a lot of different ways you could do. Some of you are stay-at-home moms and you're thinking, I just want to do this just to stay engaged creatively. I need to create. We all kind of have that need to create. And that's what this is kind of helping you with, is that, tap into that need and do it on a part-time basis. And you'll just probably do more consultation-based services for maybe redesign friends and family, maybe a staging partner where you're just kind of in, out, doing a pre-walk and talk. And so all these things that I'm talking about, don't worry, in the training, I'm going to walk you through every step of the way and structure, but a lot of it just depends on where you see yourself. And just know that there is a place for you in this industry, no matter where that is. And that's the beauty of it. Some of that too is about looking back to move forward and having that relatable story. And a lot of us miss this because we think that part of reinventing ourselves into staging, which by the way, everybody reinvents themselves into staging, whether you came from the medical field, the teaching field, I have hairdressers, I have corporate gurus, I have, you name it. Everybody, and that's why I love it when you fill out that getting started guide, because I do refer back to that sometimes when I tell your story a year from now, which is always really fun. But it's, how can we tap into your past to create that relatable story today? And that relatable story, by the way, is you're going to write that down. It's in the guide and you may have skipped it, but I want you to write it down, have it on a piece of paper that you write down, because you're going to copy and paste it in your website on your About Us page. You're going to copy and paste it when you create your profiles later in week 2 in different directories on your Houzz profile, maybe your Yelp profile, your Angie's List, because it's that story that your clients are going to resonate with. Don't be afraid to reach into your past and tell that story. Nobody wants to hear, oh, I just love design, so now I'm doing it. That's so boring, right? You have to be real. That's why when I do live sales webinars, which maybe that's one of the reasons you started in this training, is you watched a live webinar of mine. I always tell my story a little bit, tell you a little bit about me, because when you can connect with that person, and this is going to be same thing, guys, with your clients, when they connect with you, your website connected with them, then they're going to pick up the phone and call you. So part of that story, and I want you, as you're building this, to think about, how do you feel when you think about design and doing design? And what in your past worked towards now this new future for yourself? My hairdresser, she loves working with clients, but she's always, that design just puts that fire in her belly. And she's telling the story about how she gets that fire in her belly when she thinks about design, but how being a hairdresser helps her work with clients of all different kinds and really understanding and empathizing with their needs. Do you see how I did that, guys? I used that example. I want you to do that right now. So if you need to pause this video as you're brainstorming your story, maybe something came into your mind the moment I kind of jogged this with you, hit pause, write it down, because you're developing your story right now, and that is critical. This is an interesting story I have to tell, because this is about the kind of email that I get from people even before they jump into this training. And I told you, I'm always going to share stories along the way, and hopefully that'll help you in your growth and process. And I try not to waste too much time on these videos. If you want to fast forward, you can, but these stories are what help you to create your story. And this was an email I got. Audra, I went to college. My major was fine arts, emphasis in graphic design. Needless to say, it wasn't for me to be at a computer designing packaging, because that's where that creative kind of went her direction. She wanted to be hands-on. But as you probably know, in the real world, there are bills to be paid. So after college, I got the first job I could get, and that was in the customer service business. And I have been stuck in customer service office administration for 13 years now. And I'm craving to get back to creating hands-on. She's now kind of figuring that out. All these emotions are rushing over me. Am I good enough? Will I make money doing this? Will I succeed? I'm scared, nervous, and excited all at once. I want this to be a full-time career for me at some point. I just want to make sure I'm making the right decision by doing this and taking that leap of faith. I really want to prove to myself and to my family and friends I can do this. I guess what I'm asking is, do you have words of wisdom or experience with you or others going through the same emotional war? And I share Lindsay's story. Ironically, I got to tell you, Lindsay ended up taking my training after I talked with her. But I share Lindsay's story because I really think it resonates with almost everyone who just gets started in the training, especially if you've never staged before, or if you're just brand new. You start to doubt, you start to have fears, you're excited, you're scared. Those are the two very common words I get in the Getting to Know You forms. And I tell you this story not to bring those feelings up for you, but to reassure you, to tell you that all the answers are here. You're going through the paces. Take the 3 weeks of time to get through all this, go through these exercises, watch these videos, and the answers will be there for you. Because I hear all the time from people, the aha moments will come probably week 3 for you. That's why it's about absorbing. I don't want you to feel pressure. Even though in day 1 I talk about picking your domain, picking your name, it's not necessarily that you're going to pick your name in day 1, because we're going to talk about there's a lot goes into that. But I want you to schedule that and be able to go back to that training when you're ready to pick that name. So hopefully you're kind of getting it. I don't want you, there's no pressure here. This is at your own pace. But if you're feeling like Lindsay, you're in the right place, and that's okay. So just want to reassure you with that, and know that my words of wisdom is the people who have taken the time and gone through the training, they're okay. They end up well. And you're going to see a lot of stories about that. So let's talk about a little bit more of that getting to know you. Your unique story, tapping into that, is also going to help you develop your mission and your vision. And this is kind of business plan 101. What is your mission? Well, your mission stems from your story. That's why I kind of told you guys that, is it's kind of the mission will be your why. It'll be your motivation. It'll be when you wake up and you're like, I don't want to get through that. I don't want to meet with that accountant. I don't want to talk about insurance. That sounds so boring. It's going to propel you through the boring stuff to get you to the good stuff. And that's why every day I walk you through kind of the fun stuff, which is the design modules. I'm going to show you some other resources here. And then I walk you through the business stuff, because it's that motivation that's going to be that fuel to get you going. And when you can define your vision through that mission, then it's easier for you to set goals. And that's what we're going to talk about in this training, is my process for setting goals and actually getting things done. I'm going to share with you. I'm going to give you the tools too. The downloads are below. So that's kind of like, okay, this is my mission. This is where I want to go. This is how I see myself. Okay, I have these things I need to do. Remember, the Getting Started Guide used to be called the First 50. So if you hear me mention First 50 in this training, it's really the Getting Started Guide. So I don't have to, redo every video that I have ever done, because I renamed it. But reaching back into that vision and goal setting also means that you need to be keen on your strengths and your weaknesses, because those are going to be the opportunities in your business and your threats. So going into that, in your manual, in the very back of your manual, is a HSR planning checklist. And I want you to fill that out as you go. Maybe you've already started. Maybe you watch this video. If you don't have your training manual, then print it out. It's above you. It was in the week 1. You can print it out. Start filling it out, because you're going to need to be keen on, okay, what are you good at? What are you not good at? Because what you're good at is going to lead to opportunities in your business, certainly when it comes to marketing in week 2. What you're not good at is going to be a weakness. It's going to be a threat to your business. And that may be something you may need to think about outsourcing. Sometimes it takes money to make money. And I always say, save your money. I'm going to mention things in the Getting Started Guide that don't really cost any money. This is a great business to start. It doesn't cost much. Save your money for things to outsource that you know you're weak in. Because some of us, I get it. That's just the way of it. The good news is, and this is kind of my advice to Lindsay, is when you're working on something that you care about, it's your passion, you don't have to be pushed. Your vision will pull you. And That's what I'm hoping for you. You're gonna love these videos. You're gonna keep moving forward. You're not gonna be able to put the training manual down. And I want you to focus on momentum. If there's anything in this manual or anything that's slowing you down, put a pin in it, move forward. Please do that. I don't want anything bogging you down. So let's talk about creative brainstorming. Let's allow yourself to dream. I want you to flash forward even a month from now, you going into a home, all those fears and emotions put aside because you have the confidence and the structure of knowing what to do, and you helping that homeowner find solutions in their space. I know you can do it. And maybe that's your why. Maybe that's your mission. And maybe that's what's going to motivate yourself. And part of what next exercise we're going to do in the next video is look at stagers' websites, kind of looking into their mission, their why, their motivation, and kind of giving yourself ideas. But I want you to be thinking about that in the back of your mind. What is that vision? Allow yourself to dream. Maybe your dream is that you're doing luxury homes. I've got stories to tell for those folks that had that dream too. You can do it. You can reach it. It's very exciting stuff. But sometimes it's just going to start with something in your own home. And that's in our Getting Started guide, creating that inspiration space for yourself. I love this. Kelly Carroll shared her new office space in Stagers Connect. Hopefully you've connected with our Stagers Connect because it's so inspirational. You're going to get lots of stories, lots of fun in there. But she shared her office space. And sometimes it starts with a decluttered space. And psychologically, an uncluttered, really clear space for you to creatively brainstorm and think and study is going to help you be a lot more efficient. So start by taking the before photo, carving out that space for yourself, and then taking the after photo. By the way, that's how you're going to slowly start building your portfolio. While you're also doing that, make space in your house for inventory. Don't shop yet. But trust me, we're going to get to that point soon. I love to shop. You're going to get great discounts to places which you wouldn't have gotten before, but you need to make space for that inventory. That's your, accessories. That's the bling that you're going to put on the homes when you walk in. It's all exciting stuff we're going to talk about in the next few days. Don't worry, but you're going to need to make space. But do me a favor. When you look at that downstairs closet that you need to clear out, take the before photo. You might as well. You need to get good on your camera, your iPhone, it doesn't matter. Get good on the camera, take the before photos, because you might as well have a little before and after photo while you're clearing out space, right? A lot of you guys don't do that. You're practicing on a guest room in your home. You don't take the before photo. Well, do that at least. Your portfolio doesn't have to be a list of only before and afters. It could be just afters if you want. Maybe you've already done homes in the past and you only have after photos. That's okay. But you need something in that portfolio. That portfolio is going to go on your website, and that's going to be the reason why your clients also connect with you. You can't say that you want to get into staging and design and not be able to at least create a before and after of a space in your own home. If that's the least of what you need to do, spend a weekend doing it, please do that. Consider that homework this weekend. Creating that space just for you, whether you're redesigning and photographing, you're building on your portfolio. And a lot of people do send me emails, Audra, I live in a small apartment. I don't care. You can create space. Candace Lee, look at her. I mean, this could come from any small apartment, but she basically took the before and after of this space, and it's now become her inspiration place. And she even played with the photo. Look at that, how she kind of focused it in. And is this perfect? Is she going to look back at this a year from now after she's had 1 million clients and done amazing transformations and laugh? Yes, but guess what? Every stager does that, and you have to start somewhere. And it's better than having a blank portfolio. Sometimes I'll get an email from someone, oh, Audra, I'm not getting any calls from that website that we created. And I'll go straight to the portfolio. And if they don't have any photos, that's why. So I'm just going to tell you, this is business 101. Start creating those before and after photos. I did this, guys. See this photo? Guess what? I just, having fun on my camera, created a little vignette in a corner of my living room. And even if that's all you have, it's okay. This works, right? Who doesn't love on your iPhone is it the portfolio setting? It's the profile setting. This is what you do, the profile setting. Even if you're just creating vignettes in your space, if you tell me you got into this because you love design, don't tell me you wouldn't love. This is what I did. I paused this video. I went to the corner, had fun creating this, took me 5 minutes, and I've got a photo. It's that easy, guys, okay? So I want to inspire you. Have fun. This is all part of the learning. You're going to do that a lot as you read through the design modules. Take those photos, get really comfortable with it. Because I love this quote by Vincent van Gogh. When you hear a voice within you say, you cannot paint, then by all means paint, because that voice then will be silenced. And I know a lot of us have that voice right now. And as you take this training, you're going to have that voice. Oh, I started researching other stagers in my local area and they all look so good. I can't do this. I can't compete. Guys, don't listen to that voice. Just start doing it. You got into this because you love it. Start doing it and you will love it more. And every time I hear from a member after they've gone to that first consultation, a client, they cannot believe how their instincts just clicked in. So silence that voice by doing it. That's what I'm telling you as you're going through the Getting Started Guide. Just have fun with that. Take a day. This is your day, day one. Start doing that. Because right now, it's all about you immersing yourself in learning. You're immersing yourself in this training. You're immersing yourself into understanding design. You're immersing yourself into understanding the real estate industry. You're immersing yourself in getting catalogs. You know, in the Members Black Book, start connecting with Pottery Barn, Ballard Designs, all those great catalogs. They're free too. That is how you immerse yourself. Go to the library, check out design books. It doesn't have to cost you anything to immerse yourself in learning. This is your journey. You want to become an expert in it. And here's another before and after photo. This is from Leah Ward, LTW Designs. I love to share her story because when she started the training, she is a mother of 3 small kids. And I thought to myself, you know, you might want to do the consultation model. And she said to me, nope, I want to go into luxury staging. I want to be doing large scale vacant homes. And I'm going to take everything and invest it into inventory to reach that goal. And I said, I love it. You know exactly where you want to go. You do it. Now she's doing design projects. She's doing large scale staging projects. She staged Bruce Willis's, multi-million-dollar home. She's a celebrity stager. And that was only a couple years into the training, making these goals a reality. So I want to encourage you, following the training, making those goals a reality. And look, obviously, her talent, this talent doesn't happen overnight. It came from her doing exactly what you're doing, immersing yourself in learning. Because inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. And if you want to conquer the fear that you have inside you, you don't sit at home and you think about it, you go out and you get busy. That's why I start this training by getting you busy with that Getting Started Guide. You're going to be really busy. Don't let it paralyze you or freeze you. Skip, skim, move on, but stay busy. Keep the momentum, guys, okay? Don't let anything stop you. You know I have these quotes because this is what motivates me. So that's all part of tapping into what motivates you. I like quotes. Quotes help to motivate me. Hopefully it's helping to motivate you. So let's talk about some practical steps for success. Right away, you've got the Getting Started Guide. You're marking up your training manual. You got to write it down and check it off. Now I'm going to include below some calendar ways for you to do that. I still keep a paper calendar on my desk. I can't help it. If that's you, then you're going to love these tools. It's easy, paper calendar. It's in Word. You're just going to, finesse it, print it out. And I do calendars and I write my goals down. I have to see them and then I check them off. And I like to use the word intentions. What is your intention rather than goals? Statistically, people, shouldn't necessarily use goals because we're so used to a goal is kind of what we're attaining. The intentions are what's going to lead us to attain that goal. So I'm going to walk you through that right now. The intentions are the most important part, not necessarily the goal of itself. And it's the multiple intentions that are going to help you reach that goal. So below I have kind of this sheet, this worksheet. It's kind of a new business, new you. Your goals are all of these things that stem. And I remember, guys, when I started my business, it wasn't just about my business goals. It was about my personal growth goals. It was about my creative growth goals. It was about the systems that were going to help me meet those goals. And it was about my big dream at the top. So this is just a fun little sheet if you want to use it to write things down, post it on your desk, your beautiful office space that you just created for yourself, but map it out. This is kind of the law of attraction when you're mapping out and you know what you want. So maybe your first creative goal is you're going to photograph You're going to create and photograph that office corner. Maybe it's a corner in the bedroom, like you just saw Candace do. Maybe it's a corner in your kitchen that you're going to create, and that's your portfolio, that's your creative. Maybe your first marketing goal is you're going to create your story. I just talked to you guys about that. So, hit pause if you need to do that and start creating that story. And guess what? You're checking this off. These are your intentions. And when you're checking things off, because all these things are also in the HSR planning checklist where you get to check it off, that's why I have a checklist for you. That's what creates momentum. Because let's remember, we all go through this, right? Let's say your goal is to lose 20 pounds. Oh my gosh, if only I could lose 20 pounds, right? Your intention every day would be to exercise. Your intention might be to cut sugar. Another intention might be to count calories. And it's those, whoops, I should go back. It's those many intentions that you met that actually help you reach the goal, right? So you kind of get it. That's how things work. And this is kind of how I'm just trying to mini motivate you. So let's talk about your intentions, for the business. The term intention, and you can, write this down. It's the determination to act in a certain way. It's to have this resolve. And I kind of give this mini training in the beginning of every year for free. It's kind of my goal setting training. So if some of this looks familiar because you've taken that at some point, I do it because it's always the January 1st we set our goals. Well, no matter when you signed up for my training here, guys, throughout the year, this is your January 1st. This is your goal to create something new, whether you're a veteran stager, whether you're a new stager. And in this training, I'm going to walk you through different levels because I want to help you reach those goals in this training. You're going to be, if you're a veteran stager, you're going to be critiquing what you've done in the past and really, really looking at your systems. If you're a new stager, you're going to be going back and kind of trashing some of what you've created and starting fresh. I'll give you structures that I know work. If you're a brand new stager starting this journey, don't worry. I've got the answers for you in the next few days. But it's the determination that you're going to have to just get through these videos and that part of the manual that's going to add significance and help you reach that goal. So let's say your goal is to be a six-figure stager and you want 6 figures in consultations. I love to just show out numbers because a lot of you guys need to see it for you to see how you can actually make this a reality. If you did 2 staging consultations a week, this is very conservative pricing. You'll know when you get to my price section in a couple days. This conservative pricing. 2 staging consultations a week, you make $400. Let's say one of those staging consultations leads to a full staging day. That's $700. Don't be surprised, guys. Remember, you follow my structure. My structure shows you how to upsell this because when you overwhelm the client, they're overwhelmed. Anyone that's moving out of their home is automatically overwhelmed. So, when you take the time and you give them the long checklist and you say, I'd love to help you. Let's get you through this. How does tomorrow look for us to roll up our sleeves and start doing this? I can walk you through it. They're going to be like, yes, sign me up. Right? Maybe you throw in a color consultation. You guys know I have a color training. For those of you, you're going to be asked about color. I have that. There's a color module in this training. But for those of you who really want to do color consultations, you can see you make a little bit more money on those. I have a separate just for those of you who love that. And I created that training because I had a lot of my stagers say, Audra, I want you to create a color training just for that. So just so you know, and you can go into the member store and see that if you want to add that. But so you did that. Let's say you're shopping for the consultations. A lot of your clients will pay for you to go shopping for them. So in 1 week, let's say you did those things and then a past staging turned into, because a lot of those staging jobs, guys, turn into move and redesign. A lot of the clients who are selling their home, if they know you, love you, they're much more inclined to spend money on the home they're moving into. And you're the person that they know, and they love your taste, they love your design. And when you get to week 3, I walk you through how you upsell your staging jobs into redesign pretty easily, guys. Let's say one of those turns into a day of redesign where you're helping them in their new home, move and redesign. So this is your week, let's say. This is not into your, too far future. You may be thinking, how in the world would you will, trust me, 6 months from now. That's $2,400 a week or $120,000 a year on 20 client hours, guys. That's 20 client hours that you're working. And now it all starts with marketing. Don't worry, in week 2 we talk about it, but I want you to encourage you. You can make this kind of money in your business. This is zero overhead too. I mentioned this. This is the consultation business model. I'm going to talk about that in the next training on the industry overview. Kind of walk you through 2 different things, but you don't have to spend anything. to actually get this. When I say anything, obviously cell phone, computer, business cards, website is basic, couple $1,000 to make this kind of money in consultation-based business model. So I want to encourage you that money can be made. And it's not in the too distant future, but you need those practical steps to get you there for success. And I want to remind you that busy does not mean productive. I see a lot of stagers hanging out on Facebook looking for all the answers. And maybe until you finally bought my training, that was you. And you probably wasted 8 months of your business time thinking you could find the answers on Facebook, but you get 10 different answers for the same question because, you're not asking a person in training. Don't worry, all the answers are here. Focus on this training. Get through this training. Getting through this training is what will make you productive. Calendar your intentions in pencil, guys, and don't beat yourself up when you don't get it done. So below, I have a 2-week schedule. This is where I like to calendar what I want to do, my to-do, my intentions. Now, if you want to do this on Google Calendar, absolutely. Get used to using a Google. I use a calendar too. Cozio is my calendar, but Google Calendar is a very good one to use too. But I like a piece of paper in front of me. I like to also see it, and it also keeps me on track. So I have those tools for you below, telling you to use what I use. I also use a bird's eye calendar, a 4-week bird's eye calendar. So I can look down and see my 4-week. And I write down then what I completed because I have my intentions, but I may not have completed those intentions. So I write that down, what I completed weekly. So I have that sense of, okay, here's my intentions. Well, what did I get done? What did I accomplish in the week 1? So you this week will say, okay, I accomplished day 1 and day 2. And now you don't beat yourself up if those are the 2 days you accomplish. Those are 2 very big days. Picking a name for your business, getting that far along, and getting all the checking account and all that good stuff, that's a lot of stuff. So write all those things down. Feel good about what you accomplished, because half the time I have to write down what I've done because I'll forget that I actually did it to add it to the training. So I have this sheet below. It's in Word, so you can tweak it if you don't like it. What I do is I just print these out, the blank one, and then I fill in the days of the week. Fill in the dates for myself. And that's how I keep my bird's eye and then my 2-week. So hopefully you can use those tools to kind of get things done and start scheduling with the HSR planning checklist, kind of your schedule as you're reading through. Keep that calendar as you're reading through the training manual and schedule it. You're not going to probably go to your bank and work with the insurance or work with the accountant or any of that in day 1. Schedule it 3 weeks from now. Make a day 3 weeks from now or a month from now where you're doing all that after you've gone through the training. Okay? So don't worry about that. You're putting that intention on paper. But you need to know what you plan on doing tomorrow and the next day and the next day. If you expect to get through this training, you got to have that schedule. You need to schedule this training on your calendar. Take time to do that after you watch this video. And when you know what you're going to be doing that day, I want you to, in bed, before you even get up, stretch, get that blood throughout your body. And I want you to wake up thinking about exactly what you intend to get done that day. I want you to envision it. I want you to envision the pitfalls that you're going to run into, the distractions, and then I want you to envision yourself overcoming it. Okay, this is just a mind. It takes you 30 seconds to do this. You don't have to. If you think it's mumbo jumbo, don't worry. But I do this every morning. I have a live webinar. I envision success. Every morning, like the morning before you have your first consultation, envision yourself not having the right answer for a client. Envision the client asking you a question you don't know the answer to, and then envision yourself saying, you know what, that's a great question. I'm going to have to get back to you on that. But moving forward, here's what we're going to do. You know what I mean? Envision your success. It's okay. It's okay if you don't have all the right answers. You're not going to. Nobody does. But very likely, you'll be just fine. Surround yourself with positivity right now. It's so important. Any entrepreneur knows this. You have to surround yourself, get rid of anything toxic, surround yourself with the positive. If there's naysayers in your life, maybe avoid them for a little while. Don't worry about it. Don't listen to them. Raise your dream standards. Be like Leah Ward, where she's got 3 little kids. I don't know where she finds the time. I mean, I'm a naysayer when I said, oh, are you sure you want to do luxury staging? And now she's doing Bruce Willis, celebrities' homes, right? So raise that dream standard. You can reach it. I've seen so many people reach their standards, and then I actually see more people who didn't raise the standard and go above it. Okay, you can do that. Some more emotional steps for success. You got to just believe in yourself and your ability. Believe in your ability to learn what you need to grow. Remember, today is day one. By week 3, you're going to know it. Knowledge is power. So believe in your ability to get through these videos, take the notes, take the message, put it on your calendar, and just be grateful. Grateful that you're here. Grateful for the people in Stagers Connect that you connect with. Grateful for the advice. I always find that when I practice gratitude, so much good things come my way. When I think, oh, this is a crappy day, I'm having a terrible day today, guess what comes my way? It's just interesting. It's Life 101. I know you guys probably know that. So just really think about that. You're going to need that to get you through this journey over the next few weeks, few months. Remember, it's self-paced. And just remember, it's not always that you need to do more, but rather you need to focus on less. You know, this training, there's going to be rabbit holes in this training. There's going to be places I refer you, great catalogs, great shopping guides, great resources. If you find yourself going down that rabbit hole and not completing the day's worth of work, pause, get back to the training. Please do that. Focus on momentum in the training. Get through the videos, get through the training manual. Usually that's when I find people get stuck when they haven't even read through the training manual. I know it's long, but it's not that long, guys. We can read through a book in a week, right? We read through novels all the time. You can get through it. So let's get back to you. Think about yourself. What do you really love to create? If you're a veteran stager, especially, and you're in this training, what in the past, what kind of clients have you worked with? Did you love working on? What did you not really like working on? This is what's going to help you kind of define your niche. We're going to explore that more in the next training, but I want you to be thinking about it. What was tough for you? And that's okay. Maybe things were tough for you. Maybe you're a new stager and things were tough for you because you didn't have the right answers. They're here, don't worry. But maybe write some things that were tougher. Maybe you stumbled a little bit. Maybe confidence is a problem. Maybe tough for you to be able to listen to clients. I want you to think about that. You always have to look back at every experience, every consultation, every staging day, every job you do, every client interaction. I want you to step back and be very critical because right now everything is a learning experience to you. Everything is that journey and that learning experience. So you have to ask yourself, well, what was tough about that phone conversation? What do I want to change about that conversation? I told you I'm going to give you forms for all these questions. Maybe there's some questions you're like, I don't really like that question. I'm going to scratch that. And so you're going to ask yourself these questions as you have those interactions and those experiences. For my veteran stagers, what was your biggest moneymaker? And what's brought you your best leads? I want you to really focus on those things and those systems. So this may not appeal to my brand new stagers, this story, but it's part of this journey. And so I want to share with you, Shannon Dugan, she sent me this email. She started the program a year and a half ago. She didn't open for business right away. So she's passing her 1 year mark. Basically, she's been 1 year in. So I want to share with you. She listened to me, she went through the training, and she walks through those questions, this process. What has she completed? In 1 year, she did 55 occupied stagings. I'm going to walk you guys out. Occupied is, the in and out. Vacant is the empty space where you're actually bringing in furniture. I think you guys know the difference probably. But once I've got to clarify that. She did 6 renovation. That's kind of move-in design. Remember I talked about how you make money? And actually interior design work, because a lot of staging leads to interior design. And then she mentions that she won't be continuing that service. It was too much time spent overseeing contractors, which she didn't really enjoy. Now, Shannon's story may not be your story. I have other stagers who say they love that part of the work, but you don't know what you love until you start doing it. And that's why I want you to think about this training as a platform for your business. In fact, I want you right now to open up your hand. Right now, open up your hand, and I want you to know that the training is this platform. And you could be Shannon a year from now, thinking back to all the work that you've done after you completed this training and thinking about what you love, what you don't like, what was tough, what was easy. And you're always going to be doing that throughout to create the best business that you can have. She did 12 redesign projects plus some color. She worked with 18 agents, but only 7 consistently. I'll talk about that in week 3 under Realtor Partners. Your goal in this training is to develop those realtor partnerships. Staging is an awesome business model because once you connect with those agents, they're just going to have you go into every occupied home and do a walk and talk for them. That's tomorrow, guys. I'll walk you through how to do that. It's not that hard if you have the right answers. But so you do the walk and talks, and that's just easy partnerships. And what happens is those agents are now marketing your business for you so that you're not marketing a year from now. So Shannon says that she's had 18 agents, but only 7 consistently. So what has she learned? She's exceeded her goals while falling short of a few. So you're going to write down these goals like Shannon. I love that she was very specific about her goals, where she wanted to be. This is part of your dreaming big, guys. So as she reflects, and I got this email in 2019 on a few things that stand out to her. She's realized she really loves apartment model home staging, which I thought is pretty interesting. And so she wants to know that how does she market specifically to apartment management companies? And by the way, she throws that into Stagers Connect and gets other answers. Where does she start? And I actually also answered her email for her. And I always will answer your emails too when you have these sort of things after you complete the training. And the reason why she wants to do apartment modeling is because she really enjoys the vacant staging and she wants to do more, but she wants to work alone. She wants to work alone and hire just a little assistant. I talk about that in week 2 under vacant staging. How do you tackle a vacant job? You need to have some help. You're not going to move a couch on your own. But she wants lighter weight furniture that she can have one person help her out and smaller jobs. And that's what an apartment is. I love that she already knew that's kind of the vacant way. She doesn't want to do the 4,000 square foot home. And unlike Leah wants to do the 10,000 square foot home, right? So I want to give you some ideas. So she has inventory for 4 small to medium homes, and she's probably storing that right now in her garage or in a small storage facility. Like I said, I'm just telling you her story. Don't worry, all the answers are in the training, but I just want you to know this is where she's kind of coming from. She wants to gain more traction in expanding her realtor base. She wants to move to more of those partnerships. She's done a few presentations at some offices. She's gotten some business, but most of her business has come from initial contacts, from referrals, Google, Facebook, which, trust me, guys, that's my focus in your marketing right now is Google and Facebook. And she's realized, oh, I should have listened to Audrey. Yes, that's really where I should be dialing in my website, Google, and Facebook, because rather than focusing on these office presentations. She knows her strengths. Maybe her strengths was not getting in front of presentations, right? Getting back to your strengths and weaknesses, guys. She realized too, she was really busy in the summer, but her marketing efforts stopped. And then a lot of her clients stopped. Remember, staging is cyclical. I'm going to talk about the staging calendar in just a bit. And there's great news to that because we've got a great industry, but that's why I teach you both staging and redesign so you can hedge your business. She realizes she needs to be aggressively marketing the entire year. So she needs to get through the training and automate some of those systems, right? But I love that she has kind of everything in place and she's thinking about those goals. And like I said, this is about you writing it down. She used her calendar, she wrote it down, she's learning how to be efficient. You're always going to get better with each job, finding ways to improve, which I love. So what did she discover? Her niche is for vacant apartment staging. She's considering her lifestyle. Remember, you've got to consider your lifestyle when you decide how much full-time, part-time of this business. She's discovered her non-negotiable. She doesn't want to deal with, I call them pain in the you-know-what clients, the PITA clients. You'll see that in Stagers Connect. A lot of us talk about it. And everybody's PITA clients are different, guys. Some of us love working with builders. Some of us consider them PITA clients. So you won't know until you start. Remember that platform. But I want you to know you're going to launch, and then you're going to always be reevaluating along the way. And that's what she's doing. So I use her example as a good example of evaluating as you go. Okay. And to encourage you all the way, she's loving what she does. It doesn't feel like work. It's so rewarding. It's so rewarding. And that's the thing a lot of you don't realize. Helping out people during this very stressful time, home sellers, is tremendously rewarding. It's very exciting work. And all the friendships you're going to gain along the way, you're going to love. So moving forward, keep getting forward. So you're going to learn those lessons while reflecting. You're going to always be reflecting on your business. That's what I'm asking you to do. That's why I start day 1 asking you to reflect. What don't you want to do again? What did you love? And then letting go of some things. So let's talk about letting go really quickly. And I use this example. It was in Stagers Connect. No, actually, this was in another Facebook group that I'm for home stagers, but Judith is a veteran grad she's a veteran who took my training as a veteran. She was like a 10-year veteran when she took my training, and she realized that she kind of after going through a training like this, right? She was focusing on some of the wrong things. And so I love to share her story. So this story is from my veterans who are now watching this. She noticed that work was becoming stressful. She kept comparing herself to other competition. She kept feeling that fear, letting that fear in of the stagers who are undercutting as she visualized. We're all going to think that there's some stager out there undercutting, some cheaper stager. Guys, when I talk about pricing, the good news is those are not the companies that will last a year from now. People do not want the cheapest company. There is an art form to what we do. So stand on your skill set, stand on your value. She decided that she's going to rethink her business, and she decided to focus on value, defend her prices, not discount her prices. And then she also decided on a more specific niche. And as soon as she did that, more calls came in. And more people she was turning down, to be honest. And she actually quite enjoyed just saying, maybe you're not a fit, and it's okay to do that. But at the end of the day, she's now developing a company that she's happy about, that she wants, because you have to love what you're doing. If you're stepping back from this journey, 2 years from now and saying, I don't really like this, then you put your business in the wrong direction. And I want you to go back to, Audra told me day one, to remember the direction I'm going to put my business, because you can go in a lot of different directions. And I want you to always remember it's got to be the direction you want it to be in. Remember, the beauty of being an entrepreneur is you get to work who you want to work with. You get to take the jobs you want to take and leave the rest. And if you're getting a call because you're in our directory immediately and you're not ready, don't take it. That's okay. You don't have to, especially if it's for a big vacant home and you're scrambling and you're stressed and you think it's going to derail your training. Connect with another stager locally and refer that out. If it's a small job and you're just panicking and letting that fear go in, take it and learn from it, because that's what all of this is about, right? So it's up to you how you're going to do it. But I do love that she said she's now loving her business, and that is the whole point. So I share her story. So for some of us, what do we need to let go of? If for my veterans, clients who are not worthy of you. Actually, for all of us, let those PITA clients go. Some of us need to let go of control. I get a lot of you right now, even in this section where you're like, my before and after photos of my own home, they're not beautiful. They're not perfect. Well, sometimes we need to let that go because it's all you have right now. So you have to just settle for that. Some of you just decide, I'm not going to work weekends. That's okay. Don't work weekends. Don't take clients out of fear. It's okay to turn them away if they're not the right fit. Okay? Don't discount your services. You'll be attracting the wrong client. We talk about that more in the training. Let go of spaces needing to be perfect. I kind of told you about that for your portfolio. Let go of spaces needing to be perfect for your clients, especially if they're not willing to pay for it. I'll talk about that more in the training, but we need to sometimes let those things go. For most of you who are just in this, watching this right now, who are just getting started, what you need to let go of right now, you need to let go of your fear of failure. Let it go. Don't worry, you won't fail. Keep working through the training. If you're not feeling confident, keep working through the training. The fear of the unknown, keep working through the training. Let that go. Fear of rejection. Who cares if somebody rejects you? You're going to probably, let's say I sometimes hear this, very rarely, but I've heard it once. Oh, I started talking to an agent in my area and they said there's no need for stagers. One person's perspective, let it go. Don't worry. There's plenty of room in every market. Sometimes this has happened to me, no joke, guys. I'll get an email from someone who says, you know what, I just think my market's not good for staging. It just didn't work. And then I'll get an email within that week of another stager in the very same area who's like, business is booming. I can't even keep up with it all. So some of this is because that first person needed to let go. They had one experience and they're basing their whole perspective on that. So letting that go and moving forward. Don't worry about freezing up and not having the right answers. Don't worry about that one bad client experience. Haters gonna hate. I have good news for you. once you get through this training, you're going to have a structure for all those client experiences, and they're going to go a lot smoother for you. So if you're a new stager and you've had that, don't worry, keep working through the training. We've got the answers. Because at the end of the day, the highest performing people in the world are courageous. They practice that through honesty, transparency, and openness. Just being real, guys. Just be real with people. It's okay. When you approach clients, you're real. You got the fear and everything aside. They love that. If you approach people and you're honest about their space and their home, and you're honest about helping them and being open and transparent, they get it. Speaking of, here's another before and after photo. And here, this is something you can do in your own home again. I kind of love this. I don't know if she created this herself, but she just piled all the pillows and then the after. Beautifully done. And actually, I think this was for a client of hers. So really pretty. Who doesn't love to see it? And then again, practicing your photography skills. I just want to remind you guys, the past is a place of reference. It's not a place of residence. We are not looking back. We are not going that way. You are moving forward. You are immersing yourself in learning. That's what this training is. And when you start doing that and brainstorming, give yourself the time of getting through this training. Don't stop. Keep reading through the manual. If something slows you down, keep reading it. Then you will be crushing it. I promise you. So I want you to ask yourself throughout this training, what would you do if you could not fail? Because you already did that, right? You stepped out, you started getting into staging. I want to tell you, you cannot fail if you follow the training. Just keep working on it. Keep going. So let's talk about your calendar plan. I have the calendars below. You're going to have 6 months planning. I recommend only planning 6 months. I gave you the example goals that Suzanne mentioned. Just do 6 months. And how are you planning on making money in 6 months? I mean, I know some of you on really tight budgets and you're like, I need to make money tomorrow. I need to get going on this training right away. Get moving. There's a quick start section where you can start doing that. Jump forward to some marketing, get that, website going, and think about, okay, I need to be doing consultations within a month. Start connecting to agents maybe every weekend. You're going to open houses, connecting with agents. I have a section for that, guys. So remember, you can skip, skim, bounce around in the training, especially if you need to right away make money. And then decide what you're going to commit to focus on, and then list the way. List it all. And I have it in your calendars. So the steps to meet those goals: write down your ultimate goals. I mentioned that before. It's time to dream. What is your ultimate goal in 6 months from now? So maybe your goal right now is to get through the training in a month. I love that. That's a great goal. Get through this training, get through every video, get through every little bit, the training manual most importantly. And then what does 6 months look like from now? How many agent partners do you think you're going to want to have? How much different kind of work do you think you're going to do? Maybe one design job, maybe consultations. Plan out the steps or intentions you need on the calendar to make those goals happen. Feel the power of your planning and the checking off of things. I love that, because the power of planning and checking off things as you go, there's no guilt, guys. No guilt if you don't meet it. That's one thing I do go through my calendars. I don't let my calendars beat me down. If I don't complete it, half the stuff I don't complete, it's okay. I take it and I go, okay, that's good enough. I'm going to put that in my next month's calendar. I've learned to not beat myself up. It's okay. But when you write down your achievements for the week, what you got done, then that matters. And for so many of you, this happens. And this is why online training is so important. Life brought you down. I hear sad stories. You got a death in the family, or an accident, or a health issue. And if that achievement that week is you're just getting healthy, you put that down, and that's okay. Because that's the beauty of self-paced. You can always get back to this. You can always start it up. Don't give up on that dream. But feel the power of the planning and keep moving forward. Here's some examples of, what some of you may do. If your goal is to start this part-time, right? You discovered, okay, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I want to do this part-time. 6 months from now, this is going to be my part-time business. So you need to finish this training. Okay, that's month 1. And then you need to be redoing and photographing spaces in your home, your portfolio. That's within that month. You need to be researching those other stages. We're going to talk about this in the training. You need to have your brand, your pricing, your styles. You're going to have that once you complete this training. And then, pick your business name, and then you need to follow the marketing plan and launch. And if you can say to yourself, okay, I'm going to do all this within the 30 days, that's pretty aggressive, but you can do it. If you can start a part-time business in 30 days, how awesome is that? And then maybe your goal in 6 months is to have 3 realtor partners that are just sending you out on every occupied consultation, walk and talk. That's your part-time job. Perfect. You've got it. And then, of course, you're always going to be, I told you, immersing yourself in learning. You're going to be looking through catalogs so you know how to shop for clients, hows to get inspiration. We're always refining our design experience. So maybe that's on your list. And feel good about that. You may be saying, Audra, why would I write down search through hows? That's part of your learning. It's okay. Check it off. I searched through hows. I'm getting motivated because it's part of what you're doing. Every activity that has to do with this business and refining your learning from design to real estate, whatever it is, to shopping is a step in the right direction. Let's say your goal is to quit your corporate job. A lot of you, let's say you have your 6-figure. If you're going to finish the training, a lot of you, I know you're frustrated, but you need to keep that job while you slowly build your business. I see a lot of stagers who do this, like slowly build it part-time because they need that income, and that's okay. This still works with a full-time job, but eventually you're going to have some clients where you're going to have to let things go. Because the nice thing about your business, guys, you can work it around your schedule. And if, weekends, evenings, and that's usually when a lot of clients will want to work with you too. So that's all good news. And then you work it slowly, and then you quit your full-time job. And like I said, you take on clients during the weekends, you do the evenings, and you start really focusing on that marketing foundation, building that email list. That's in week 2. Your Facebook profile, your website, driving traffic to your site, your Google pay-per-click, your Facebook, all those things, all your profiles, getting the word out, automating some of that process. That's what it was Shannon Dugan. That's right. Her goals, building that marketing. Because a lot of you will start getting jobs right away as you're going through this training. Because I hear that a lot of times. As soon as you tell a friend you're doing it, oh, come to my house. And that's how you know you're in the right industry, which is great. But don't let that derail your training and building that strong marketing foundation. Because that's how you really end up meeting those goals. It's another story. Susan Baca. Some of you know her. Area Interior. She's like the preeminent stager in the Atlanta, Georgia area. And she didn't start out that way, guys. She was working the corporate job like some of you, working full time. Here's some of her beautiful work I have to share before I get to her story. But her story was like you. And she asked me, Audra, how am I going to do this? I need the income, but I also want to be doing these luxury homes. And eventually she has to step out. So making that break from her corporate America, follow her dreams. And then she found her niche was vacant homes. Those are the empty homes where the clean slates. I'm going to talk about that in the industry overview, guys, into more depth. But she brings in her furnishings and she's got her warehouse. She's got her storage. Oh, she moved from several storage units into the warehouse. And it's just everything's moving forward. She's buying wholesale. I have a whole section on that for you too. And this is the direction she's gone. So I want to encourage you with these stories. And of course, the story that everybody tells me, few bumps, there's going to be bumps along the way, guys. There's going to be the naysayers, there's going to be the fear, always bumps, but never regret. You can't regret learning and immersing yourself in learning and trying something new. So let's talk about example marketing goals. Let's get very real. If your goal is to create 5 realtor partnerships, that's very reasonable. After you get through the training, you want 5 realtor partnerships, meaning agents who are giving you all their listings to stage, whether they be occupied or vacant. You need to connect with agents at events. Don't worry, I talk about all this in week 2, marketing, network. You need to be maybe going to those open houses and connecting with them, being real, transparent. A lot has been said on Stagers Connect about, a lot of success going to open houses and just, I have a whole tell you how to do it in the open house section, guys, to go there. But there's a lot of success you can have by just being real and talking to agents, friending them on Facebook, start building that Facebook connections, add them to your email list and be a good stalker, care about their business. That's what agents want to see. If you are an agent, then connecting with other agents in your office. I have a lot of agents who go through my training because they absolutely are great at design. And so then they start doing a lot of staging for other agents in their office because that's really the core, that's the heart of their business. And that's okay. But you'll find those are 2 very full-time jobs. It's hard to do both. So you'll find that eventually you might have to pick one or the other or outsource some of those staging projects to another HSR stager who does it full-time. And that's okay too. So those are all kind of activities. And let's talk about those financial goals. If you're a veteran stager, your goal is to double your income. You just sort of have to consider every way you're making money and add to it. Maybe you need to expand your services. I told you that's why I have my color training. That's why I have the e-design training. It's just another way of adding services and expanding what you do. Add another page to your website on, e-design, another page on color consultations, because it's showing you you're very specific and you can do all sorts of things. Buy more wholesale. You're lowering your costs. I'm going to show you how you can buy inventory wholesale by going to High Point, going to the market. That's just going to open up a whole new world for those of you who want to do kind of vacant staging and really want to grow that way. Consider how you offer more value. Maybe just raise your prices. If you're so busy that you're turning away work and the kind of clients that you'd like, it's time to raise your prices right away. That's business 101. Right? So these are just example financial goals that you're going to reach. You're not there today. That's okay. I just want to encourage you. But it is about increasing those marketing numbers, those contacts, and reaching those goals. The good news, guys, most people who get into staging, especially if they haven't gone through any organized training, which is a lot of them, they don't know how to set those goals. They don't know how to connect with agents. They don't know how to hit those marketing numbers. And they've talked to a few agents and then they get discouraged and that's it. This is about it. This is a numbers game. Marketing is a numbers game. You have to put yourself out there. You have to put your business out there. You have to be in the marketing mode. I talk about that a lot in week 2, and great things will happen when you do. Because getting to where you want to go doesn't just happen. It takes careful planning, productivity, and motivation. So this hour-long training right here is your motivational pep talk. It's your goal setting. Do what you need to do to motivate yourself. Give yourself those pep talks. Quiet that fear inside you. And just think to yourself that the man on top of the mountain didn't fall there. Susan Baca, Area Interiors, she didn't fall to be the top stager in her area. She went through the training. She carefully planned. She's like Shannon Dugan. She's planning every step of the way. And when you're always critical of everything you do in the planning and you set those goals, those intentions, and the steps you need to meet them, you're going to do well. So I want you to start, stop this video before you start the next. Get that goal sheet ahead of you. You're going to have it as you've got your training manual with your HSR action list. Hopefully read through the rest of that getting started guide. Just read through that really quickly before you start the next video and maybe start putting those intentions on your calendar. All right, have fun with it. Don't let it frustrate you. Let it excite you. See you in the next video.